Hello, friends. Looks like we're live. This is Bryna Parker here in my living room with Yoga Buzz. Thank you so much for joining me today in this chair practice. We'll wait just a few minutes so we can make sure everyone who wants to practice live has an opportunity to hop on. What I have for today's class is a chair. So I have a chair with no arms on it. We're going to use the chair in the beginning part. We're going to sit in it, and then we might come up to standing for a little bit. That part will be optional. And I also have two blocks. You may or may not want these blocks. There's one posture that you might find the blocks to be supportive. So if you have them or you have something else like a book or anything that could kind of help lift the floor up, maybe grab that now. And then also at the end of class, I'll offer rest. So you can always take rest in your chair. Or if you know that you love to come down to the ground and take a long rest, maybe you gather a few items, a pillow or a blanket or anything that would feel good for the end of class. Now, one year I got an old chair here. It's not my studio chair. It's pretty old and squeaky. Hopefully it makes it through the class. But if you hear a little squeaking, that's definitely my chair. All right. Before we get started, I just want to thank you again for supporting me, for supporting all the teachers, for participating with this new platform that Yoga Buzz is providing. And we're so grateful to share this with you and for all the donations. So we really appreciate that. You're keeping us working. And for some of us, it's a lot more than just the idea of like having income. Like this is what we do. And being able to share this yoga with everyone else is something that we need, hopefully just as much as you do. So we really appreciate it. All right. We are going to begin with a little bit of centering and breath work. And I'm going to invite you to start seated. So you can come into your chair, and if this is your first time working in a chair yoga class, I'm just going to invite you to avoid sitting back in the chair, but coming up, maybe even scooting forward a little bit so that maybe you're sitting midway through the chair or more towards the front of the chair. And then we're going to plant our feet in front of us. You can take your feet about hip distance apart, and then just look down at the floor and see if you can take your ankles right under the knees. And that just provides a little bit of support for the joints. And in this practice, I will continue to remind you to root into your foundation. So the foundation is the part of your body that's connected to the ground, to the mat, to the chair. So right now we'll start with the feet. We'll press into the feet, feel a little bit of activation in the legs. We'll also come onto the sit bones. So I like to move around a little bit, just trying to find where those sit bones are exactly. And then think about coming up on top of the sit bones. I want to also stack my shoulders over the hips. Then I reach up through the crown of my head. You can rest your hands anywhere on the lap that feels comfortable, or some people just like to let their arms hang down by the sides. And as you come into this seat, think about also lifting your heart gently up towards the ceiling. Maybe you take your shoulders up, around, and back, and just very gently squeeze your shoulder blades onto the back body. That's going to help lift the heart. And then the invitation here would be to soften your gaze, maybe taking the gaze downward. Some people may feel comfortable closing the eyes. It's just an option, but it's really a way just to tune out all of the outside distractions, allowing us to begin to place a little bit more attention on ourselves, on our breath, on everything that's going on the inside rather than outside. So as we begin to send our intention inward, we have a tall spine, softened eyes, See if you can locate your breath and begin to see how the breath is naturally moving in and out of the body. Observing the breath, noticing if it's shallow or full, if it's jagged or smooth. Is your breath moving into the chest or into the belly? Where is your breath? Maybe it's just clustered right here in the throat. That's kind of where I'm at this morning. And then once you observe, begin to initiate directing the breath. So you can start to take a fuller inhale, and maybe you inhale through the nostrils, maybe it's through the mouth. And then a slower, longer exhale. There's nothing to rush here. We're just beginning to slow the breath down, focusing all our attention on moving the breath gently in and out of the body. And here, as we begin to come into a much fuller breath, we start to feel the way the breath moves through the body by seeing the physical or feeling the physical expansion with every inhale. Opening, making space. On the exhale, we feel the body gently retract. Still keep that rooting energy into the feet and the sit bones. A few rounds of breath here without rushing. And it's completely fine if you find this part to be difficult, or you get distracted, or you hear something that brings your awareness off of the breath. That's absolutely normal. What I'll encourage you to do is just notice that that's occurred, and then just call yourself back. Come back to the breath, start over, and give your attention to yourself. And then we're going to work with a Kini Mudra, which is a mudra that we use with our hands. And you can start by bringing your hands in front of the body, and you can spread the fingers wide, almost as if you were going to grab a ball. And then take the fingertips to touch, creating this round shape, maybe right here in front of the heart. We're going to press into the fingertips, and then with each inhale, as the body lifts and expands, we're going to take the fingers away from each other, feeling the inhale. On the exhale, as the body retracts, we'll slowly bring the fingertips back together to touch. Inhale, open the hands slightly. Exhale, bring them back together. If you choose this option, just begin to flow with your breath. There's nothing to rush. Taking your time to feel the way breath, the way energy moves. Maybe you can even feel the energy between your hands. Especially at that part, as your hands begin to move back towards each other, right before the fingertips touch, you can begin to feel that energy between each finger. Rooting into the feet, rising tall through the crown of the head. Take a few more rounds like this. Nothing to rush. Everything is here and now, in the present moment, with my breath. One more. And as you bring the hands together this time, press the palms together, bring the hands to heart center, bowing the head towards the fingertips for just a moment. Before we start the practice, I'll invite you to come into an intention for your practice. And that can be whatever it is that maybe you've been thinking about or working on, or maybe you don't know. Maybe your intention is just how you want to feel at the end of this practice. Whatever it is, take a moment here to call it in, create it, and then press your hands firmly together. Bring the heart to the thumbs, bow your head towards the fingertips, and seal your intention in. We'll take an inhale here, and an exhale through the mouth. Let's do one more just like that. Inhaling and exhaling. Your next inhale, root into your feet. As you inhale, reach the arms up overhead with palms touching. On your exhale, release the hands out wide. Fingers can spread. You take the hands all the way down towards the ground. Lift the heart. Press into the feet. Inhale, reach the arms out. Maybe your gaze comes up and you look overhead. Palms come together. We exhale, hands to heart. And then we'll just flow, inhaling up. Exhaling wide. Start to move with the rhythm of your breath. It's your pace because this is your practice. Inhaling up. And as you exhale and your hands come wide, spread the fingers, feel into the tips of the fingers, feel expansion from your heart space through the shoulders, through the arms, to the palms of the hands. A few more rounds like this. Good. The next time you reach your arms up overhead, we'll pause here. We'll take our gaze up towards the ceiling. Here again, turn your palms towards each other and energetically press them towards each other as if you still had a ball between your hands. Create a little bit of energy or resistance between the hands. We'll take an inhale here. And as you exhale, release your arms down with the palms up. We'll stop at the shoulder level, arms come to a T, and you lift the heart. Root into your feet, take a breath here. And as you exhale, you can turn your palms down and release the hands all the way down by the sides. Good. All right, we have arrived. So I'm going to invite you to start to come into the neck really gently. Don't forget about rooting into the feet. That's your foundation, and so are your sit bones. Let's start by dropping our right ear to the right shoulder. Just let the head hang here for a minute. Find your breath. You might extend your left arm out long, reaching the fingertips towards the floor with the palm facing forward. Then decide if you like stillness here or if you want to begin to rock the chin forward and back, feeling all into the opening of the neck, maybe into the shoulder. And then bring the head back through center. Release the hand if you've extended it. We'll take an inhale. And on your exhale, you'll drop your left ear to left shoulder. And pause there, just letting gravity do the work. The head is hanging loosely. Maybe you extend your right arm out long and begin to turn your palms forward with the fingertips reaching towards the ground. That's an option. And then see if you like to rock the head forward and back. Come back into a steady breath. And then release, bring the head back up through center, bring the arm in if it's extended. We're going to take both hands to the back of the chair. So to the base of the back of the chair or midway, whichever feels best for you. You'll press into the feet, gently brace the front of your body towards the spine. And then move your elbows towards each other and squeeze your shoulder blades together on the back body. Begin to gently lift the heart. Gaze could come straight ahead. Or maybe you take the chin up slightly, moving your gaze towards the ceiling. See how that feels on the neck. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, you're going to drop your chin down, moving the chin towards the chest, allowing the head to hang. Take a full inhale here. Keep squeezing shoulder blades back, moving elbows back, and then press into the feet, and we'll inhale, lift the head up, and release the arms out. Good. Let's move through the rotation of the shoulders. So we're going to take both hands to the tops of the shoulders, and then just start to rotate the shoulders, maybe forward. We're going to move in one direction, making big circles with the elbows, moving all through that ball and socket joint of the shoulder. And you decide how big or small your circles are. And then after you have loosened up in one direction, pause, and then switch it up and find rotation the opposite way. And if it doesn't feel okay on the hands or the wrists to have your hands on the shoulders, you can always just release them down and move the shoulders. Whichever one feels best in your body. A few more rounds in this direction. And then we'll release and let that go. All right. Let's bring our hands towards each other, but instead of touching the palms together, let's press the base of the palm, the wrist together. I don't know if you can see me because it's right in front of my face. All right. So pressing the wrists together, we're going to start to roll through the wrists. So your thumbs will move towards each other and down, and you'll start to rotate the hands all the way around, coming through the wrists. Start making these circles, pressing the wrists together. Now, if it does not feel good to press the wrists together, separate them and just roll the wrists around. We'll start in one direction. And as you feel ready, we can switch it up. Roll the wrists together in the opposite direction. Few rounds. Good. And release. And then maybe you like to shake it out. I often like to shake it out after I make movement. And then we'll move into a wider seat. So keeping your sit bones in the middle of the chair, firmly rooted down, walk your feet out a little wider. Maybe your toes even point outward. Maybe you move more towards the edge of the chair. And then pressing weight into the feet, come tall on the spine. Hands can come to the legs, to the knees for support. And we'll move through the hips with some rotation. And as we inhale, you can bring the torso forward, rolling through the front part of the body. And exhale, you can round through the back. Start to create these circles, moving through the hips. It does not matter how big or small your circle is. But I do want you to consider keeping a firm foundation with the feet and the sit bones. Taking your time here, you might even close your eyes. You might bring your shoulder and your head into the movement. Still just warming the body up. And then when you're ready, we can find rotation in the opposite direction. Allowing the breath to lead you and guide you throughout this practice. Good. Let's make one more round this way. And then come back up through center. Root into the feet, come up tall on the sit bones, brace the belly gently towards the spine. On the inhale, we're going to extend both arms out wide, palms facing forward, lifting the heart, gently squeezing shoulder blades onto the back body. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to bring the hands across body, reaching for opposite shoulder. So grab tight of opposite shoulder. Get a good grip here. And you can stay here. Some people like to bend the arms upward at the elbows. That's just an option. We'll take an inhale. As you exhale, drop your chin towards your chest and lightly round forward through the upper back. So you begin to feel a nice stretch through the space that is between the shoulder blades, or maybe even down to the back of the heart. And as you press into your feet, you can lean forward. Some people may like to rock a little bit side to side. Keep the breath moving. Rooting into the feet, we'll inhale, lift the torso back up, release the arms out wide, squeeze shoulder blades onto the back body as you lift the heart, and then release the arms down. Good. Let's do that again with the opposite side. So inhale, reach the arms out, palms face forward, lifting the heart. We'll inhale here. Exhale, bring the hands across body. This time you're taking the opposite hand on top, grabbing onto your shoulders, opposite shoulders, or folding your arms up into that eagle posture. You decide. We'll inhale. On your exhale, gently drop your chin in and begin to lightly bow forward as you round through the upper back. You can hang here for a moment, finding your breath, or you could gently rock side to side. Coming through center, pressing into the feet. Inhale, lift the body up. Reach the arms out wide. Once more, squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back as you lift the heart. And then exhale, release the hands down. All right, I'm going to do one more movement here in this wide-legged stance. And this time we're going to bring our hands to heart center. We'll press the palms together and gently lift the elbows up. We're going to inhale in the middle. And as you exhale, you're going to bring your right elbow across body and you're going to take it in the direction of the opposite knee, towards your left knee. And then as you inhale, you're going to lift up through center, lift the heart. And as you exhale, you'll flow the opposite direction. Your left elbow comes across body towards the opposite knee. Inhale, root into the feet, lift up. Exhale, elbow comes towards knee, opposite direction across body. So we'll begin to create a flow here with our breath, inhaling in center. Exhale as you twist and crunch down. And then start to move with your breath. Nothing to rush. Inhale in center. As you exhale and crunch, see if you can press the air out of the body. Good. Let's do one more on each side. And the inhale will bring you back through center. We'll release the hands down. You can shake it out. And then we're going to move the feet back in about hip distance apart. That's my squeaky chair. All right. So the next posture I'm going to show is a supported seated pigeon posture. So coming into the hip, which is something that right about now with all the sitting I've been doing, I definitely need a little bit of hip stretch. So when you're seated in the chair, you have a couple options. You could lift your right foot up and place that right ankle right on top of the left knee. That's one option. Now, if this does not feel good in the knee or the hip joint, an alternative option is to take a block or a book or something you have that can lift the floor up. You'll walk your left foot out just a little bit, and you'll take that block right inside the left ankle. Then the alternative is to lift the foot up and place the foot on the block. So two options, on the block inside the ankle or up on top of the knee. Either one of these work. Once you find your position, root into your grounded foot. That left foot is still your foundation. Rise tall through the crown of the head. Hands could come to the lap for support. We'll begin to hinge forward, reaching through the crown of the head. But as you find extension through the crown of the head, don't forget about rooting your tailbone down and back. Let it anchor you into this posture as you gently bow forward. You should begin to feel that in the right hip. When you get to the edge of that stretch, you can always drop the head in, let the head hang. We're going to hang out here for a little bit, coming into breath, allowing this hip to gently open, taking time with the hip, never forcing it. On your inhale, maybe the body gently lifts. On the exhale, maybe it falls in. And a few more full rounds of inhalation and exhalation in this fold. Good. When you feel ready, and there's no rush, when you feel ready, we're going to root down into our grounded left foot. We can place the hands on the legs for support. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto the back body. And as you inhale, lift the torso all the way up. And then you can release that right leg down. Maybe you stomp it out, shake it out, and we'll come into the other side. So same options here. You can lift that left foot up and place the ankle right on top of the knee. Oh, that's my tight side. Or you can take the block. You can walk that right foot out just a little bit. Take the block inside the ankle and then take the foot on top of the block. So here or here, whichever one works for you. Root into your grounded feet. As you inhale, reach through the crown of your head. Hands can come to the legs for support. And then gently begin to lean forward, finding extension right from the top of the head. Don't forget about rooting that tailbone down and back. So think of a long, extended spine. And once you come to the edge of that stretch, always an option to drop the chin in and let the head hang. You'll decide which feels best in your body. And then we'll pull in the breath. Maybe you allow exhalation to release through the mouth. Taking our time here, allowing our bodies to gently open, giving them space and time to open. Take one more big inhale here, and exhale. And then root into your grounded foot. Take your hands to the lap for support. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto the back body, and we'll lift the torso all the way back up. And we can release that left foot down to the ground. And if you have blocks or props, you can set them aside. All right, I want to move into a side seat so we can open the hip flexors and come into a little bit of a lunge. So I'm going to invite you to turn to the left, and you're going to take your left foot forward of your mat. If you cannot get a good connection of rooting the foot down into the mat, you can also place a book or a block under the foot. And you can turn towards the corner of the chair, or you can turn completely sideways to where it feels as if half of your backside is hanging off the chair. You can hold on to the back of the chair with your left hand. You can hold on to the front corner of the chair with the other hand. And then we're just going to drop that right knee down. So letting the knee hang, it's not actually touching the ground. It's just moving towards the ground. Keeping a firm connection in that front foot, you could gently begin to wiggle the toes back. Some people might want to gently lift up and then walk the foot back even further, finding more extension in the back leg. Creating a lunge that feels supportive in your body. And then here, notice if you're leaning forward, we're going to come upright, bringing our shoulders over the hips. Pause here. And when your next inhale comes, lifting your right arm up overhead, begin to bend to your left. We've created a little bit of a side bend here in our lunge, and that should feel good right there at the front of that right hip. Energetically, your right knee and right hip is still gently moving down towards the ground as you're reaching up with the arm. And then exhale, we'll come back up through center, lifting the torso upright. We're going to find stability with the feet, and then see if you can bring both hands together at heart center. Take an inhale here. And on your exhale, we'll begin to twist to the left, finding a twisted lunge. Or maybe you just release the hands and grab onto the back of the chair. That can feel more supportive. Take 2 rounds of breath here. Maybe you even turn the neck and look all the way out over the left shoulder. And as you inhale, we'll gently unwind, coming back through center. You can use your hands to the chair for support, and then we'll gently pull that back leg back up to meet the front. And then we'll just turn the opposite direction. All right. Root into your front foot. Maybe you're coming to the side of the chair, or maybe you're half on, half off. Take your hands to the chair for support. And then we're going to drop that right knee down. And you can start here by just letting that knee hang. The knee is hanging. Gravity is pulling the knee down, but that left hip is still level with the opposite hip. The hip is not dropping off the chair. The hips are on the same plane and they're stable. You can also use a little bit of core strength by bracing the belly towards the spine. And then you determine how far you want to walk the leg back for your lunge. Find a foundation, find a sustainable posture. Notice if you're leaning forward, pull back so your shoulders come more over the hips. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift the left arm up overhead, and take a bend to your right. Left knee, left hip is energetically moving down towards the ground. It's a tiny little micro movement. Lifting the elbow and the fingertips towards the ceiling. Take a full inhale. And exhale. And coming back up through center, coming out of the bend, we'll bring the hands together at heart center. Inhaling. And as you exhale, you begin to twist your navel point to the right towards the back of the chair. You can keep your hands here in this prayer posture. You could grab onto the back of the chair for support. Maybe you even extend the neck further, taking your gaze back over your right shoulder. Find a full inhale. And exhale. When you're ready, you can gently unwind, coming back through center. Using your hands for support on the chair, You can begin to bring that back knee in. And we'll come around back through center. All right. So that concludes the seated part of the chair yoga practice. I am going to come up to standing for the next 10 minutes or so and do some more movement. So feel free to join me. And I'm going to start by turning my chair around so the seat is facing me. All four legs of the chair are still on my mat so they don't slide. I'll come facing the chair and I'll start in my mountain pose. And we're going to speed it up just a little bit, create a little bit of heat and energy. I always encourage you to move at your pace with your breath. From mountain pose, we root into the four corners of the feet. Rise tall through the crown of your head. Take a few rounds of breath. With a gentle bend in your knees, we'll inhale, reach the arms out, up, overhead. Now on your exhale, hinging from the hips, we'll bow forward, taking a forward fold. Hands can come down to the chair. You'll release the crown of the head towards the chair. Maybe you even come onto forearms. That's an option. You'll decide. Pause here for just 2 breaths while you let the crown of the head hang. You might even shake it out. Planting the hands on the chair with the fingers spread wide or grabbing onto the side of the chair. Either one will work. We'll inhale, lift halfway up, flat back. Brace the belly towards the spine as you reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold in. Root into your feet. As you inhale, we'll come up towards standing. You can reach the arms out wide, reaching the arms up overhead. Gaze could come up. Gentle back bend. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, find your forward fold, bowing down to the chair. Inhale, lifting halfway, flat back. Exhale, folding in. Root to your feet. As you inhale, press up. Reach out, up overhead. Gaze could come up, gentle back bend, hands to the heart. All right, let's add on. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, finding a forward fold, letting everything go. Let's pause here for a moment. When you inhale, lift halfway up to a flat back. You're going to take your left hand towards the middle of the chair. Put a bend in your right knee, and as you inhale, you'll begin to lift your left arm up overhead, twisting the torso open, taking the gaze up towards the ceiling. Take a breath there. If this feels, if you have any discomfort in the neck, know you can bend the elbow and take the hand behind the head. And as you exhale, we'll unwind, release the hand down, take that hand to the middle of the chair, put a bend in the knee, and as you inhale, lift the other arm up, twisting open, looking up towards the ceiling. Take a breath. Gently release. We're coming back. Both hands come to the chair. Maybe you walk your feet back just a little bit. We're moving into a tabletop posture. So my hips are over my ankles and my shoulders are over my wrists. Bracing the belly towards the spine, reaching through the crown of the head. And then move through a few rounds of cat-cow. So on the inhale, dropping the belly down as you lift the sit bones. Pull your heart through your arms and take your gaze up. Exhale, pull your belly towards the spine. Dropping the head down, rounding the upper back as you press into your hands. Let's do 2 more like that. Nothing to rush. Good. And as you come back through center, I invite you to shift weight into your left foot and lift your right foot up, extending the heel back behind you. Now, it does not matter how high you lift the leg. Your leg can be up high, it could be down lower. You can even just tap the toes down to the mat. We're finding extension. Take a breath here. As you exhale, we'll bring the knee in towards the chest, round the back, drop the head in. Inhale, lift the head, reach through the heel, find extension. Exhale, crunch the knee in, drop the head down, press into the hands to round the upper back. Squeeze that knee in as tight as you can. Exhale, find extension. We'll do 1 more just like that. Reaching the leg out once more, and then dropping the foot down to meet the other one. Pause here in a forward fold. So releasing the head down, you might come onto forearms. You can shake the head out. And your next inhale comes, we'll straighten the arms, lifting back up to tabletop. We'll move right into the other side. So this time you're going to lift your left leg up. You'll reach through the heel of the foot and the crown of your head. On your exhale, bring the knee towards the chest. As you crunch it in, you round the upper back and drop the head down. Inhale, extend the heel out towards the back of the mat. Reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale, find extension. 1 more. Really hug that knee in as tight as you can. Round the back. And exhale, extend. Dropping the foot down to meet the other. This time, option to come into your forward fold, or maybe you want to begin to walk your feet back, maybe a little, maybe a lot, you'll decide. Moving towards downward dog. If you choose this, you're still pressing weight into the tips of your fingers, especially the index finger and the thumb. You're dropping your head down so that your ears come by your forearms. The crown of your head is reaching forward towards your fingertips. And you're lifting the sit bones up towards the ceiling. Your legs do not have to be straight. It is okay if you have a gentle or even a more generous bend in your knees. Nothing wrong with providing a little bit of comfort and support for your back. Take an inhale here and an exhale. Lift your head up, take your gaze up by your fingertips, looking ahead. Shift your weight into your left foot. Pick your right foot up off the ground, hug the knee in towards the chest as we just did earlier. Really squeeze it in tightly. And then shift your weight forward, rolling your shoulders out towards the fingertips. You can set that foot down lightly. We're going to start here in pyramid pose with both legs straight. One thing I like to do with this pose is take my feet a little wider apart to create some stability for my base. So I'm going to walk my foot out a little bit. Both toes are facing forward. Legs are moving towards straight. Gently pull your back hip forward. Letting the front hip come back just a little bit. And we'll inhale, you'll reach out through the crown of your head. On your exhale, you might bend the elbows and gently bow down towards the chair. Keeping energy rooting into the feet, you might even energetically pull the front leg towards the back leg, almost like your legs are scissors, creating some resistance here. Take a breath. On your inhale, lift the head up, straighten the arms. We'll put a bend in that front knee. So bending the right knee, start to pull your heart through your arms, lifting the heart up, take your gaze up towards the ceiling, finding a lunge. On your exhale, drop the head down, straighten both legs, pressing the hips back, coming back into pyramid pose. On your inhale, lift the head up, straighten the arms, bend that right knee, pull the heart through, finding lunge. One more like that. Straightening the legs, pressing the hips back, dropping the head towards the chair. Inhale, lifting up, bending the right knee, finding a lunge. Exhale, release the head down. We're going to step that front foot back towards the back foot. So maybe you hop it back, maybe it takes a couple steps, maybe you pick it up and step it back. We're coming back into downward dog. Take a breath. Good. And we're going to do that flow on the other side. So you'll shift weight into your right foot, and this time you're going to come up onto left toes, or maybe you even hug that left knee in as tight as you can to the belly. You'll begin to shift weight forward. Your shoulders will come towards the fingertips, and then you set that foot down lightly. We'll move both legs towards straight. Bring awareness to that back hip and gently let it slide forward as you slide the front hip back, squaring the hips off towards the front of your mat. We'll inhale, reach up through the crown of the head. On your exhale, maybe you bend the elbows or come down to forearms, bowing in towards the front leg, towards the chair. And create some stability in the legs by rooting into the feet and squeezing your front heel back as you squeeze your back foot towards the front. Lots of activation. Maybe you shake out the head here. On your inhale, we'll plant the hands, straighten the arms, lifting up. Put a bend in that front left knee. So we're finding our lunge. We'll pull our heart through the arms and take the gaze up towards the ceiling. On your exhale, press the hips back, straighten both legs, bowing in towards the chair, towards the front leg. With your breath, the inhale lifts the body. You bend the front knee, finding a lunge. Exhale, press the hips back, straighten the legs, pyramid pose as you drop the head down. Inhale, bend the front knee, pull the heart through, finding lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Let's do that one more time on this side. Inhale, bend that left knee. Lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, press the hips back, straighten the legs, and drop the head in. On your inhale, lift halfway up, straight arms, and then we'll begin to step that front foot back. So you can hop it back, or you can pick it up, find downward dog. When you're ready, we'll walk it up, forward fold. On your inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, release. Root into the feet, gentle bend in the knees. We can reach the arms out. As we rise up to standing, look up overhead, pull the hands into the heart. Pause here. Take a breath in your mountain pose. Feel it into your body. Notice here if you feel a little bit more connected to your body. Connection to your breath, connection to those muscles that we just worked, connection to the way our body mechanics work. Deeper connection to all those inner parts of ourselves that sometimes we forget about when we're distracted with all the outside things. So here in our yoga practice, we have this great opportunity to give this gift to ourselves. It's just a simple gift of attention. And when you're ready, you can release your hands and shake it out. All right. Before we come down to rest, let's take a quick side bend. So taking your feet about hip distance or further. Let's inhale, reach the arms up overhead. I'll have you grab onto your right wrist. Inhale, and as you exhale, you'll take a bend to your left. Hold here for a moment. Make a strong connection to the outside edge of that right foot. And then inhale, reach the arms up overhead. We'll grab on to the left wrist. This time we're taking a bend to our right. Slow the breath down. Inhale up through center and release. Good. All right. So we're going to make our way into a meditative seat or a resting posture. You could come to your chair. You could lay down on your couch. You could grab a bolster or a blanket and lay down on your mat. Just going to take a moment to find a comfortable way to be in your body. It could be laying on your back or your side or your belly, whatever you think your body needs here today in this practice. Take your time getting there. Once you find your way into a seat or lying down and rest, the invitation is to soften or close the eyes. Check in with the jaw. Maybe you wiggle it side to side. You might gently separate your teeth or take your tongue up towards the roof of the mouth. Soften through the forehead, through the eyebrows. Allow your eyes to rest heavy in the socket, release any gripping that we might hold all around the outside edges of the eye. If you're laying down, let the back of your head become heavy. And we'll invite in some silence. Hoping that you have an opportunity to stay here in this meditative seat or this resting posture for a bit longer. Maybe it's just 5 minutes, maybe you've got 10 minutes or even 20 to rest in this posture. The invitation is for you to stay just as you are, as long as you like. I'm going to bring my Hands to heart center, pressing the palms together, lifting my heart towards my fingertips, and then gently bowing in towards my fingertips, but into myself. And I create deep gratitude here for my ability to show up for myself, to create this yoga practice, to create this balance for my body and my mind. I thank each of you for showing up time after time and sharing these practices with us. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The light inside of me sees and honors the light inside of you. Thank you.